this year are going after the evangelical vote because it's not in the bag just yet. Barack Obama is trying to court the group, even though some Christian leaders are questioning his position on a whole range of issues. And Christian conservatives certainly have their doubts about John McCain, too. But it looks like he's trying to reach out to them, planning a meeting this weekend with Reverend Billy Graham's son. So could the evangelical vote go either way this year's election? Joining me right now is Collin Hansen. He's the editor-at-large for Christianity Today and has been covering this story at length. So, Collin, why does this voting bloc not aligning itself with John McCain right off the bat?
Well, I think you see a number of significant differences between Senator McCain and President Bush. One of the most obvious and apparent differences is that President Bush was much more comfortable talking about his faith than Senator McCain is. I think that also leads people to wonder a little bit about Senator McCain's positions on certain issues. A lot of evangelicals don't even know that Senator McCain has been pro-life his whole career. Also, Senator McCain was not in...
I'm sorry, you said a lot of them are not aware that Senator McCain has been pro-life his entire Senate career.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
He's not considered a leader on that issue. President Bush spoke about it rather frequently, and there have been a number of champions of the pro-life cause in the Senate, and Senator McCain has not been one of them. He's certainly been consistent. He's been pro-life. I don't think evangelicals could ask for much more on his voting record, but it just isn't one of his top floor issues.
But certainly when it comes to talking about issues of faith, and you watch John McCain speak about his faith, and you watch Barack Obama, Obama almost speaks more in the way that an evangelical Christian might. He talks about being brought to Jesus and how important that is to him in a very upfront way. That message, I would have to think, really appeals to evangelicals.
Absolutely. I think a little bit of that comes from Senator Obama being part of the African-American faith tradition, which, even though it has some of its political and theological differences from the white evangelical tradition, really speaks a very similar language. Even though Senator Obama is a member of the United Church of Christ, which is a more liberal denomination, he talks much more like an evangelical. And I think, I've heard some people compare Senator Obama's willingness to talk about his faith with the last Democrat who seriously competed for the evangelical vote. That was Jimmy Carter back in 1976. And it worked out pretty well for him, at least in '76.
And just real quickly, young voters, a lot of these young evangelicals are actually taking a pretty serious look at Barack Obama, not because of his position on, he's pro-life, obviously, but because they've become more interested in issues that they identify as a Democrat than a Republican, like the environment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the environment is one of those issues. I think you see a number of young people concerned about the Iraq War like the rest of Americans. But I think you also see a certain hunger for change among young evangelicals that's shared with young people across the spectrum. I think we have to remember a number of these young evangelicals, just like anyone else their age, have only had a chance to vote for one president, President George W. Bush. If they're disaffected with him, you can see them turning to Senator Obama.
All right, Collin Hansen, we know you'll stay on this for us. We'll check back with you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Heather.
Collin Hansen from Christianity Today.